pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
After what could only be described as a Hollywood ending, Caitlin Height picked up the win when the HTL Cup Series, powered by Team Conti Performance last week, ran the Willow Springs Raceway. After Rudy Valentine ended up running out of fuel on the white flag lap, Caitlin had to hold off a hard-charging Tucker Sailor to pick up her second win of the season and practically assure herself a spot in the championship run. Tonight, however, the HTL Cup Series is down in Texas for a little two-step and under the lights. John Hagan has been the dominant force on the 1.5-mile tracks this year. Will the Hagan train continue to roll, or will somebody else end up punching their ticket into the championship run? From the green flag to the checkered flag and every flag in between, the SRM booth is busy tonight as we bring you all of your iRacing excitement. From high above the Texas Motor Speedway and the Tony Trapazzo Memorial Broadcast booth, I am the dog father himself, Shane Lake, here to bring you all the action and pushing the ones and twos and giving you all the great views. My producer for the evening, Mike the Money. And Mike, welcome back. You picked a good time to join us.
Yeah, definitely got a little break there. Had some kids sporting events take place, but came back at just the right time. Seeing these guys get on the 1.5 miles that is Texas. It is their first time here, so we'll see what the drivers of the HTL League can do on this hot track that is Texas.
Yeah, I've been talking with a few of the drivers today, and apparently their biggest concern is the fact that the rear end of these cars don't want to stick. So could this end up being one of those where you don't end up fully driving the car as hard as possible and actually saving a little bit of fuel, because a fuel window here is either side of 50 laps, depending on how these guys and gals are driving. So the question's going to be, how much do you save and how hard do you push, especially towards the end of this race?
Yeah, I think the first part of the race, the first stage, they're just going to be filling out the cars, see what it's going to do, see how long the tires are going to last, because when it's hot, this track can wear those tires, and that could cause some issues later in the run if they do make it to that 50 lap mark. And then the question will become, if you get a caution, what do you do with it? Do you try and take the tires and fuel, or do you stay out and take that track position?
Yeah, definitely 45 to 50 on fuel. These tires wear out really quick around here. I've actually been around this place a handful of times myself, and I can tell you right now, my biggest concern is going to be those right front tires, because through 3 and 4, you cannot second guess yourself. You got to find that line and stick with it, because if you don't end up finding where you're comfortable with that car, you're going to get run over like a freight train. So it's only going to be a matter of time before we see somebody second guess and end up stacking the field up here tonight.
Yeah, you're either going to stack the field up or you're going to go meet that outside wall. Those are basically your only choices. So you got to have confidence, and you have to know what your car can handle. These guys have had plenty of time to work through the car, plenty of practice. Saw some guys out there doing over 100 laps in practice. They had their 1 lap qualifying, and then they're jumping back in for this 5-minute warm-up that's just about ready to wrap up, and they will get ready, get set, and grid up here to see what 145 laps is at Texas.
I'll tell you right now, the biggest thing going through some of the stats prior to this race, through this season, we have had only 2 teams win all 7 races so far this season. Those teams being Ascent with Hagen and Lady Liberty with Josh Gaiman and Caitlin Height winning their races, which means everyone else, including all the blue oval cars, have been shut out this year so far. Could that change tonight?
I don't know. It's going to be hard to say, especially looking at the starting grid right now. You have John Hagen on the pole once again with Dustin Hall to his outside, Mark Kissenweather and Josh Gaiman back there in row number 2. Row 3 is Patrick Oberstadt and David Smeal. Shad Swatsworth back there in 7th with Josh Saucy, rounding out the top 8. Jeremy Brulette and Blake Henderson round out row number 5. Caitlin Height and Callie Height make up row number 6. Row 7, Bailey Thompson and Bryce Boyer. Kyle Taub and Zachary Apperson back there in row number 8. Row 9, Dean Calvette and Elias Flores. Alfred Denny looks like he's going to jump to the back of the field there. Start from pit lane.
Yeah, I just noticed him drop down there.
Yeah, I saw him start to roll off. I'm like, wait, where'd he go? Austin Mongold, Seth Wensing back there in row 11. Row 12, Dale Markowski and Alfred Hidalgo. 25th is Carmen Sienna and Richard Odie. Brian Motre and David Wright, 27th, 28th. Row 15 is going to be Eli Cizak, Stephen Oberstadt back there as well. Josh Arnold and Zachary Meredith, 31st, 32nd. Jonathan Adams, Lily Sharp, and then Hunter Peach and Tyler Ratliff, 35th and 36th. And then looks like starting towards the tail end of the fields, Nate Blankenship and Josh Arnold.
Yeah, and Tucker Saylor sitting in there 35th as well. And I believe the pace car's lights are already out, and that means there's only one more thing to do. I got some brisket in the oven cooking up. It's getting nice and hot because we're down here in Texas. Hagen's on the pole. That doesn't surprise anybody as dominant as he's been this season. Oh, they're going one more time. You know what? Race Control heard me and said, you know what? We're going to give you an extra lap to get prepared. For crying out loud.
You know how that goes.
Yeah, the league's first time here in Texas. I'm jacked up. The lights are out on top of the pace car, and they said, nah, one more time. Seeing Hagen up here does not surprise me in the slightest, as dominant as he has been on the 1.5s this year. That's why it's going to be the biggest question. Can anybody derail that 97 car tonight?
I don't know if he can stay out front and stay basically in the clear. I have a feeling he's going to be one of the dominant cars, if not the dominant car. There was a driver back there in 8th right now, the 18 Toyota of Chad Schatzworth here, or Swatsworth, who was the fastest in practice, but he also had run over 100 laps here while they were practicing. So see if he's going to be able to do that when the race starts here. But kick it back over to you and let you bring him to green.
Well, not only are we bringing him to green, but one quick other note. We have an in-season tournament for the HTL Series. I'm sure we're going to be able to touch on that as this race goes on. Think of it as March Madness, but with the HTL Cup drivers, as that pace car has made the hard left-hand turn. John Hagen's got nothing but daylight between himself and the green flag. Barney's waving it big. The Texas two-step is on.
Hagen got a huge run and a huge help there from Kissenweather.
Yeah, Kissenweather was all but shoving him down into turn 1. Seems like everyone's starting to figure things out. The top 4 are single file through 3 and 4. Everyone's kind of tiptoeing it right now because, we got one scraping the fence back there.
Yeah, I saw that coming in practice, coming out of turn number 4. They get up there and they almost touch that wall. It looks like, that's Callie Height up there getting a little loose in that high lane.
Yeah, she was the one that's
sideways back behind.
Back there. Big wreck. Whoa. 96 is in it. We got one upside down back there. That was the 8 car that was on its roof.
Wow.
Just like the inaugural race in 1997, it only took one lap before chaos.
Let's take a look here. Touches the grass.
Well, that's normal for Texas with these cars, thankfully. But what happens up front in here? It looks like, it happened in front of them.
38.
The 38 looks like it just broke loose and stacked everybody up, and the 8 goes for a ride.
Take a look here, see what happened with Ross Baxter.
You can see so many tire tracks already in the grass. That's, again, normal for what the line is here. And it looks like Ross just gets loose. He's fighting that thing, swatting flies, and bang. And the interesting thing is there was that second collision up there between the 24 and the 96.
Yeah, so go back and watch that a little bit too.
See if there's any tie-in with this, because both of those cars got around the 38, and then I don't know if there was just a meeting of the paint job or what happened here. They're set. Wansing's trying to get around them. There's no contact till right there.
I don't think the 96 saw anybody up on that high side.
I don't know if it was the 96 turning up or the 24 turning down, but I don't know. But that is definitely an auspicious way to start your debut here at Texas.
Yeah, I mean, Baxter was all over that wheel going left, right, trying to keep it off. I mean, he threaded the needle between two cars as he was trying to catch and control that slide until he couldn't.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the rack and pinion steering in these cars, I've said it many times, especially here, you only get one shot to save that car. And unfortunately, you know, that 38 just broke free too much on him, and he just couldn't save it. Not exactly a fun way to start the evening.
Looking back through the scoring here, looks like everybody's back on track for the most part. Richard Odie is still on pit lane.
Yeah, I think he got the front end busted up on that 78 car pretty bad. Got to wonder how badly damaged some of those other cars were, especially that 8 car, because that thing took a rock.
He spent over a minute in his pit box, so definitely had to get some damage repaired there.
If that 8 car comes back to have a whale of a finish, I'm going to be surprised, because it's not often you see somebody flip like that and actually still have a car underneath them. But as the iRacing.com pace car makes that hard left-hand turn, the front 2 are still the same, which means this restart's still the same. Hagan takes off yet again with Dustin Hall, Mark Kissenweather, Josh Gaiman, and David Schmiel Jr., your top 5.
Yeah, he had a much better restart, did Hagan that time. He does not have anybody right on his bumper. Kissenweather, Dustin Hall swap positions here as Kissenweather is able to slide that 12 machine up in front of the number 1 Ford.
Yeah, and it looks like right now the top 7 look like they've singled out. First battle back here for 8th is, looks like Cali Height once again scrapes the fence coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, you get that 2 and 3 wide, you kind of almost have to go as close as you can to that wall on exit.
Oh!
Jonathan Adams
just knocked the wall down.
Oh, that was
No, that was, who's that right there? That's the one that just...
Yeah, Ryan Montray?
Ryan, yeah. Oh,
wow. I just saw that hood fly up when he hit that wall.
I haven't seen a hit like that since Mahomes got sacked in the Super Bowl.
Oh, the 29 got loose. He went off of the 97.
And collected the 33 as well. Second caution of the night, and that was brutal.
Let's go on board here.
Oh, I don't know if he was just loose and bounced off the 97, or if the 97 just came up, off the bottom.
No. We'll take a look. If you watch, the car just in front of him gets a little loose there, gets a little squirrely.
And
it looks like he might have turned down just a little bit as the 97 was turning up, just to kind of avoid anything that might happen there.
Yeah, unfortunately, the 97 just had severe closing speed and just whack. We were focused up on the 25 car, the boss man here. I think Blake is running a WWE 2K25 paint job. Yep, he is. With Roman Reigns on the hood. I believe that's Roman. Hard to tell.
Look like it.
Well, I mean, in the morning show when I log in, I'm known as the wise man, so no, I'm not gonna do any Paul Heyman impersonations, at least not yet. Two cautions early tonight. Could this be a sign of things to come this evening? I mean, I think the inaugural race had something like, well, for the actual Cup cars in '97 had something like 13 or 14 yellows, and we're hoping to God we don't have that problem. But I know they had a rash of cautions early in that race, and then they finally settled in. So one can hope. As you got John Hagan and Mark Kissenweather sitting up there in the front row, Dustin Hall and Josh Gaiman sitting beside him and sitting behind him in second. Right now, we've already seen it both times. Hagan has gotten the better restarts. I don't know if it's just the way he's just jumping on the throttle coming off into the restart zone, or if he's running in a different gear than everybody in the restart. But that 97 is acting like it's got like 20, 30 extra horsepower when he drops the hammer on these restarts.
Yeah, we'll see what this restart brings. Back up a little different this time.
Let's just hope we don't give Barney tennis elbow here tonight as the iRacing.com pace car makes the left-hand turn yet again. Hagan hits the restart zone, and you see what I'm saying? Whoa! Dustin spins the tires and just about gets lifted. Who was that? That was Callie Height in the 3 that just about jacked him up.
Yeah, that was definitely close. It looked like Hagan went down and almost touched that grass on that restart, which caused Dustin Hall to stick his tires down there, and it almost looked like after he did that, he went to hit the accelerator and his tires just spun. But he has lost 6 positions already.
Yeah, that was massive for him right now. Now he's just got to try to settle back in, start picking these positions back off again as he's looking to the inside of the 18 car of Chad Swatsworth. Is going to get that pass done. That's going to be one of those you got to really slow yourself down afterwards, because the adrenaline just went through the roof on him. Has just about laid the bumper to Kelly right there. He's loose again.
And he is
that one car is not happy right now, and just about stacked the field up behind him.
Yeah, the 3 car goes from the top to the bottom and trying to get 3 cars there, and she will do just that.
I misspoke. It was the 33 of Josh Gaiman that was behind the one that practically lifted him. When you're looking at these things from certain angles, you can only see one of the numbers. So, oh, we got another one. Lily Sharp goes for a flip. 9 cars involved. Everyone was talking about coming off of turn 4 being a problem. It looks like turn 2 is more calamity corner than anything.
Yeah.
It looks like the 19 has got something broken in the steering, whether it's a tie rod or something, but that car is evil. Taking a look at what's going on. I think it happens in front of her. Yeah, it happened. What
29.
in the... What
in the
happened
world?
to the 29? That thing went dead right.
Wow. See if we can take
Was
a look,
it-
see what happened with Austin here.
Looks like he's going into 1 and 2. Everything's fine, you know, clean here, and then
Whoa.
just broke free. And then gets about 7 of them with him. Just that slightest little kick sideways and just overcorrected it. And next thing you know, kapow. On board with Austin Mongold here. Downshifts it in the 4th. Fine, normal. Barely breaks free and then just snaps. And Lily goes for a ride. Unbelievable.
Wow.
And the thing is, it wasn't even that big of a snap of the oversteer either. It's just the thing barely kicked out, and just the normal progression of trying to catch the car, it literally snapped dead right. Stood on the brakes and nothing could happen. Couldn't do anything to save it from there. Unreal.
Yeah, that is crazy at how fast that just shipped that car right up to that outside wall.
Yeah, that was just bad tonight. That was it's going to be one of those nights where you really have to be on your toes with this thing. And we mentioned it earlier that everyone was complaining that the back end of these cars were not settling in. So far, every single wreck tonight coming off of turn 2 has been because somebody has broken loose somewhere. But once again, the iRacing.com pace car has got the field locked up and doubled up. Oh, that explains everything right there. As we got word from internal team tonight, the 27 was on a different platform of driving, let's say.
Pace car makes that left-hand turn. We're ready to go. Hagen hard on that accelerator pedal, and he gets a great jump out to car length and a half over Kissenweather, staying up high, going to roll through 1 and 2.
Yeah, the field's got itself strung out a little bit more as Hagen is definitely cleaning house again here tonight. And for the 3rd time, I'm corrected, was David Schmiel that was in the 31 earlier, not Josh Gaiman or Caitlin Height. Again, all of these threes looking similar, you know, it happens. Everything gets a little bit confusing up here, especially when everyone's doing like 185 miles an hour. But let's just get that right. As we got
Almost
more
4
3-wide
wide.
action. Roman Reigns trying to power his way. No, wait, that's Blake. Never mind. Trying to power his way through the field here tonight. Making that top side work in that 2K 25 Camaro or Mustang. I'm telling you, these next-gen cars look way too similar from a distance.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we didn't have a new manufacturer jump in when they went to this basically all the same style of cars here.
Formula One has had 2 new manufacturers join them faster than NASCAR has. What does that say?
Well, there's that.
I'm just saying.
I was going to say the fastest guy of the track's in that 33, but the 81 just laid down the fastest lap, 29.96 that time by.
Yeah, there's still plenty of good in these tires right now. So get it while you can before you really end up having these things drop off, because from what my understanding was earlier talking with a few of the drivers, you're looking at about a 1.5 second drop off. So it could be very, very interesting to see who saves what for later on tonight, as we got ourselves a battle for third starting to brew.
Yeah, 2 of the faster drivers there trying to work their way towards the front. You got Patrick Oberstadt right between them.
Am I seeing things, or is that 60 trying to basically go chromed out tonight?
Looks like it. Pretty close to that.
That's pretty evil. I'm glad that it's going to be under the lights and not direct sunshine all the time, or else we'd have problems like we did with Darrell Waltrip's car in '97.
Don't look now, but Kissenweather going for the lead. Takes that high side, going to be strong up there. And he is to the point, gets in front of John Hagen, and is going to lead that lap.
Yeah, Kissenweather's going to get that high side going. That's going to be big here tonight, is whoever can get the high side through 3 and 4. Because everyone's going to hunt 1 and 2, as it looks like the 33 got wicked loose there. Was able to catch it through the middle of 2. But the high side through 3 and 4 is going to be key, especially late in the run when the tires are definitely worn out. So right now, Kissenweather is showing that he can get that top side going.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right. That high side, if you can stay off of the wall coming out of 4, it is definitely going to be the place to be to make that pass as you're headed towards the line. 1 and 2, everybody seems to be running pretty much the same line, right down there on that white line, sliding it out to the outside wall as they go down the backstretch. And it seems everybody's pretty much there. When we have issues is when you're 2 or 3 wide coming out of 2, and you wind up just getting loose on exit.
Yeah, as the 60 ends up slapping a wall, we got another battle for the front. Looks like Hagen's trying to retake the lead going down into 1 and 2. Will end up clearing Kissenweather, and he's going to bring Josh Soucy in the 81 along with him. But Kissenweather's going to slam the door coming off that high side. Put Hagen back up to the front.
Hagen back to the point, and that did bring that 81 right into it. Oh, Blake hard into the wall.
Oh, the bloodline's not going to like that. Unfortunately, Blake's going to end up leaving that bottom side open as Josh Gaiman in the 33 is going to take a peek. The 81 now, Josh Soucy's going to be trying to make a move on Kissenweather in the 12. Dives it deep down to the bottom of 3 and 4. He's going to make Kissenweather make him run that high side.
Well, Saucy's definitely hanging on there. Kissenweather trying to stay there as well.
Yeah, and all this is doing is bringing in Blake in the 25 and that 28 car, Bryce Boyer, who's actually filling in tonight in that Menards 28. He's having himself a whale of a run already.
Yeah, he definitely is. The driver he's filling in for has got to be filling pretty well, especially with this mid-season tournament that they are throwing out here. Everybody's battling at least one other driver for position on the track. Whoever has the highest position advances on to next week. And if you have a sub-driver, that driver is in your position. So it could be very beneficial to some of these drivers that had a sub fill in tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And the big thing dealing with that is there was actually 4 triple threats with this in-season tourney. So we're going to see a whole lot of eliminations in this tournament after tonight's race. So it'll be interesting to who moves on and who can actually end up getting it done in a few races here. And yes, I was convinced to fill out a bracket. I only usually do it for March Madness, but somehow I got convinced to do it. And as we got somebody else kissing the wall there, I got Hagen winning the whole thing.
Well,
I mean, I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit here.
that's not actually going out on a limb very far anyway.
No, like I said, I'm taking the low-hanging fruit on this one. I mean, just the way this is set up, it screams it screams Hagen all over it. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Looking at some of the drivers that have moved up quite a bit here as this race has went on. A 91 Toyota of Jonathan Adams up 20 spots from where he started. He's making the most of those passes as he did come down and hit pit lane on lap 8. I believe he was involved in that incident a little bit there early, but has made the most of it just behind, or a couple paces behind him. Now is going to be that number 1 Ford of Dustin Hall. Dustin Hall was up at the front, touched that outside wall. Looked like it did a little damage as he was awfully loose coming through 3 and 4. He decided to make a pit stop on lap 15 when we had that last caution, and now he is moving up through the field, currently running P13.
Yeah, that one car has just fallen off after starting up front. I think it's just the fact that he's been fighting a loose condition with that car all race long. And unfortunately, it's costing him dearly in positions right now as we got another battle between Caitlin Height and the 60 of Patrick Oberstadt. And Caitlin's just going to shove it deep down into turn 1 and 2, just about come up right on the back bumper of the boss man here, Blake Henderson. Got a nice little view of Roman off the rear bumper. And the 60's actually shoving Blake, so Texas is still able to provide good battles. It's just a matter of having somebody underneath you can actually trust and race with.
Yeah, and it looks like this racing has got a lot better once those tires got a little warm, got a little heat in them, and they're able to, looks like, not slide around quite as much as they were earlier on those cold tires. Everybody was all over the place, but now that they've got about 15 laps of green flag racing, almost 20, they are definitely seem to be more holding the track a lot more and not having the issues that we had before as the 60 brushes the wall again.
Yeah, and right now it seems like the times are slowing down a little bit. Hagen's currently sitting at a 30.46. Current best lap for him was a 30.11, so the tires are starting to drop off just a little here, so it's a matter of who's able to control the car better once these tires get a little bit of grease to them.
Now the first 5 pretty well strung out there. Looks like we have a battle between Caitlin Height and Bryce Boyer here.
Yeah, Caitlin making the move, sticking that red and black Wheeling Engineering number 3. Seriously, I'm looking at that thing and all I'm getting is IMSA vibes right about now. As we got the 31 here of David Schmiel Jr. making the move on Patrick Oberstadt, put him up to 8th. Caitlin Height is currently battling Blake Henderson for 5th. Oh, I'm telling you right now, that 60 was all over the 31's back bumper, just about got him loose. As Caitlin's making the move on the inside of Blake, trying to get it to stick. Blake is getting that outside run and just making things that much more difficult, but I think Caitlin's going to get the job done. And as she gets that move on the inside, Blake's going to try to put the crossover on her. As we got Schmiel and Bryce Bauer going at it in the 28 car for 7th. And all of this is going on, and we're 4 laps past the end of the first stage. So It's definitely starting to get interesting here. I'm just waiting for the lights to come up because the track is really going to grip up, and then we're going to find out who's really got the better car at the end of this.
A group of 4 drivers here. A couple of them that were running up front, Patrick Oberstadt and Dustin Hall, but we have Jonathan Adams and Bailey Thompson all in there as well.
Bauer ended up touching the wall there coming off of 4. He's starting to lose a little bit of the grip on that 28 car. 3 wide at Texas is dicey. Something's got to give here.
I'll watch the exit of turn 4. So that 28's way up on the high line. Yeah, it stayed clean. Slowed down just a little bit.
91 backed out of it. Jonathan Adams, discretion being the better part of valor, backed out of it going into 3. That way they could kind of set things up, and everyone was able to continue, thankfully. And now it looks like
driver up on. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's.
I saw a driver up high on the wall, a lap car trying to stay out of the way, let everybody else race around.
Yeah, probably still got a lot of severe damage involved in one of those earlier incidents.
It looks like Hunter Peach and Austin Mongol put the car on the hauler. It looks like maybe Seth Wainsong did as well.
Well, looks like there's 5 of them that end up putting it up on the hauler for the night. Ryan Montre, Hunter Peach, Lily Sharp, Austin Mongold, and it looks like Seth Wansing in the 24 have all parked it for the night.
Well, no surprise out front. John Hagan starting to pull away just a little bit as Kissenweather is in second, and the heat is starting to turn up between 3rd, 4th, and 5th here.
Yeah, Susie in the 81 bouncing off the fence. You can definitely tell these tires are starting to go on these cars. And something tells me probably within the next, let's see, we've had 3 cautions already, about, 8 or 9 laps of caution. Probably within the next, I want to say, give or take 10 laps, we'll probably start seeing people on pit road.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be pretty close to that. I don't think anybody saved enough with those cautions and everything to even remotely try and make it any real further than that to be to make any benefit of it. But I imagine they'll probably try to get to 60 or thereabouts.
Yeah, I mean, if you know you can make it comfortably on one more stop after this, you're definitely going to be coming in. You got to figure right now it's just under 100 to go. Like literally, we just hit just under 100. So within about another 10 laps, if you figure that, you're looking at about 90 to go. Split that in half is 45. That's pretty much a window that you can live with. So I would assume within 5-10 laps, people are going to be starting to probably come down pit road.
Yeah, just make enough to make sure if it goes green and there was a late race caution or something, you can have at least the option to decide to stay out or not, depending on how many laps are left and what have you.
Yeah, as we see, I'm checking through the pylon right now, and Hagan's picked up a 1.1 second gap on Kissenweather. You can see it right there. And it's slowly starting to check out as everyone else's times now are starting to dip into the 31-second bracket. These tires have basically been used up.
Yeah, they've had over a second, almost a second and a half of fall off further down the leaderboard you go. I mean, even Hagen's had at least a second of fall off here. So,
yeah, his best lap was earlier on at a 30:11. Currently running 30:95s, but he's been flirting in the 31-second bracket, so it's right around a second, whereas everyone else is ballparking maybe a second plus. So that's the one thing Hagen has done well, is Kissenweather kisses the fence coming off of turn 4. Hagen has known how to save the tires on these 1.5-mile tracks. He's done it time and time again in every race win he's had. And as the sun's going down here in Texas, grip level is going to start going up, which means the tires are going to start wearing out just a little bit more. So maybe he's doing this now to make sure he has something later on in the book.
yeah. I mean, it all depends on what you think this race is going to be, you know. I mean, if you think it's going to go green, you might as well run as hard as you can right now, and see what you can do, so you can kind of get that last pit stop there, as the 81 of
Susie's making a move on Kissenweather. Kissenweather just goes up high and says, "Take it." Something tells me we're going to start seeing guys like Kissenweather, probably Damon, and a couple of others are probably going to be in within the next, handful. Susie's also been known to save a little bit of tire as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if, the cycle starts with guys like the 12 and the 33, real shortly.
Yeah, it looks like we have a couple drivers that came in. No real surprise.
Looks like
Blankenship, Dale Markowski came in.
Gee, I just called it with these two.
Yeah. Kissenweather.
Yeah, prior to that, it looked like everyone else that came in is literally in now. Yeah, Nate Blankenship came in earlier on in the 22. There's a few of them. Yeah. Let's take a look. Bruce Bauer in the 28 came in. So the cycle has officially started. Now it's just a matter of where it's going to finish off here.
Yeah, and how long do you stay out?
If I'm the leader, not long. I know I'm going to be giving up that much time. And knowing that right now I could split the race into 45s, I'd come in this time by, honestly. Gee! Hagen's listening to me. This is a first.
Yeah, usually when we say a pit strategy or anything, they completely do the opposite.
So far, I'm 2 for 2 tonight. Maybe I should quit while I'm ahead. That's it. I retire. Good night, everybody.
Well, Dustin Hall definitely will stay out a few more laps.
Yeah, he was in, I think, earlier on.
Yeah, lap 15, so.
Yeah, he'll be out for about another, I want to say about another 10-ish laps. But, again, he's also going to be giving up that second and a half to everybody else as the lights are slowly coming on here in Texas. The 91 gets a little bit loose coming off and practically tank slaps the fence.
Yeah, see if I'm the one of Dustin Hall, I already pitted and everybody else is a lap down. I'm going to stay out and hope that when they get those fresh tires that somebody makes a mistake and brings out that caution and traps half the field, further behind me.
Yeah, get that caution to trap everybody a lap down, so that way when you decide to make the stop under caution, there's less cars to go through. And the way that 91's hitting the fence coming off of 4, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually starts knocking a wall down.
As he comes down pit lane.
I mentioned the 91, he comes down pit road. Yeah, I hit the wall a few too many times. I'm coming in. We focus up on the deuce here.
These guys is both
John.
So they're both on the same strategy.
Yeah, Josh Arnold in the deuce. He's got Zachary Meredith about 5-6 seconds behind him. As everyone else, John Hagan is just now hitting the start-finish line. He's almost a lap down, along with Gaiman and Kistenweather. As a matter of fact, they are actually 1 lap down now, as Dustin Hall is literally about half the track plus in front of everybody else that's pitted already.
Well, what we were expecting as far as green flag runs and pit strategy, I'd assume that he's going to have to come down within the next 3 to 8 laps, give or take.
Yeah, I'd see him coming down within the next few anyway, because those tires have got to be screaming at him, get us off now, as he pretty much slaps the fence coming off of 4. He's got to be thinking to himself, maybe I need to come in, because Gaiman and Hagan there are about to unlap themselves the hard way.
Yep.
And there they go. And this was the nature of the 1997 race, as I made mention earlier. They had the early rash of cautions. Then once things settled in, had a wicked long green flag run. So this does not 100% surprise me that it's going this way, to be honest.
No, that tends to happen at a lot of races. If they do get that, early rash of cautions, all of a sudden, 15, 16 laps in, if they have a couple before that, they settle it down, and you get these long, beautiful green flag runs with lots of action, lots of passing, especially mid-pack. So not surprised at all at the way this race has unfolded so far.
Yeah, as we see both the 12, and it looks like, who was that other, that white and red car? Well, anyway, the one's now down pit road, so let's see where he cycles out in this after this long run, because we could end up seeing an overall net gain, because he was 13th, 14th at one point.
Yeah, he was back in the field.
Well, the lead's transferred over to Josh Darnold. He's got another few laps before he's got to come in, as both Dustin Hall and Zachary Meredith end up coming down pit road. It looks like Zach is going to end up cycling down outside of the top 15, and Dustin's doing the same, at least for right now.
Yeah, right now the 2 is in that outside lane, and he's got drivers down on the inside. He's not going to be able to get down to pit lane unless he's going to go late.
He's got it now. The 91 cut him some slack, as it looked like Caitlin just about took the back bumper of that deuce clean off. This is going to cycle the lead back up to John Hagan and Josh Gaiman, and this dogfight is back. That's
definitely not the way I kind of expected this run to go after pit stops. Hagan had a huge lead, but stayed out about 3 laps longer than Gaiman here, and Gaiman's closing in, staying right with the 97 Toyota there.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can see the slight difference in line between the 97 and the 33 coming off of turn 2. Hagan's trying to pinch the car down a little bit more and come up straighter off the corner, whereas the 33 is running a more traditional, diamond down into the corner, arc it out line. And as I say that, they switch lines up and say, shut up there. Don't give away our secrets.
Yeah, they're both trying to do something different than the other driver, trying to get that time advantage. Hagan wants to get away. He had that clean air and was just driving away from the field. But now that rear view mirror full of that 33, and he's just trying to figure out the best way to get away from him at the moment.
Yeah, Josh Gaiman is not letting Hagan go at all. I mean, he's staying glued to the back bumper of that car. As we focus up here on Roman Reigns in the 25. No, wait, that's Blake Henderson, never mind. Looks like he's getting ready to make a pass on David Schmiel Jr. And it's interesting to see Blake run the bottom of the track. He's typically been more on the top side this race.
I would say early in that green flag run, he was definitely staying in that high lane, trying to make his way around the track. Unless he did a little pit stop adjustment, and he is going to get a little bumper there.
Yeah, the 31 gave him a little bit of teal on the back bumper of that 25 car. And what that did is bring Patrick Oberstadt in the 60 up to the fight.
Yeah, Patrick Oberstadt saw that, took advantage, went right down to the inside. And all that did for that 31 for Schmiel Jr. is cost him a little bit of time here, as now he is under attack.
Yeah, he's got a plethora of cars behind him, including the 91, who's on roughly 5-6 lap pressure tires, as they're looking to pretty much go 3 wide here with Jonathan Adams, just lurking back here behind these guys, along with Kyle Taub in the 16.
Kyle Taub trying to slide right off of the bumper of that 60 down to the inside. 60 blocks it there, and they are
contact. The 60 and the 31 swapped a little bit of paint going into turn 1 there. It's getting dicey.
They are not holding back at all, especially through that quad oval when they get a run. Almost 3 wide. Taub not able to close in. 60 slides down and shuts him off. Oberstadt trying to defend that bottom lane.
Yeah, Taub's going to try to make the inside work this time by going into turn 1. Oberstadt looks like he's going to try to slam the door on him, and everyone's kind of singles out and catches their breath. And here comes, it looks like Dean in the 90 is getting ready to join this fight as well. Dean Clavitt in the 90. And we mentioned earlier, dealing with the in-race brackets, all 3 of the drivers who have won the bracket so far this season, well, all 3 of the drivers who have won the brackets when they've run them, are currently, running semi-decent. With Caitlin Height, Lily Sharp, well, Lily's unfortunately out of the race now, and Dean yeah. English EXE failed. Welcome to Mondays, ladies and gentlemen. Dean Clavitt in the 90, all 3 of them have won these in-season tournaments so far. So it'll be interesting to see if any of them can back up their performances.
Yeah, Dean Clavitt is filling in tonight for Dylan McDonald, so definitely a sub driver having a good performance halfway through the field, running P11 right now.
Yeah, as it looks like through the rest of those stops, unfortunately, Dustin did not end up gaining what he figured he would. He cycles back to 13th now, which is basically where he was prior to the cyclist pit stop. So running further than what was expected, unfortunately, did not work out for him so far.
Yeah, definitely did not benefit him the way he probably thought it should. After having to make that early race pit stop, he probably wasn't expecting to make, but still running inside the top 15.
Yeah, so far, you know, he's down from starting on the outside of the outside of the front row. So, you know, overall, this race hasn't gone the way he's expected. But maybe once these lights fully come up, maybe that one car will come alive.
Yeah, it's going to be all about who can adjust to the track once that track temperature starts to drop a little bit. Biggest mover of the race is still that 91 Toyota of Jonathan Adams, up 25 spots.
Yeah, right now, track air temp is currently sitting at about 74. Track temp is at 81. So there's plenty of grip to be had here at Texas. It's just a matter of finding it. As we're taking a look at the number 4 W hot rod here. Zachary Apperson down 2 spots, sitting P18. And the battle between Henderson and Adams rages on as Blake, don't scuff that paint job too much.
Yeah, if he didn't scuff it, he probably could have stuck his hand out and touched that wall. He was right there trying to get that Larson line going.
Yeah, well, there's the Larson line, and then there's the why am I up against the wall line? And he was pretty much up against the fence.
I mean, he does have a video game on the car.
Yeah, but the difference is that's not a racing game, that's a wrestling game sitting on the hood. I mean, if I wanted to end up hitting a wall with something, I'd go grab Mick Foley. I don't know what's worse, the fact that everyone's going to be getting these references or the fact that I've got a crap ton more, considering Monday Night Raw is on right now. The battle heating up here with Dustin making his way around the 18 of Shad Swatsworth. So Dustin actually trying to drive back up through the field. He's got Jonathan Adams in his crosshairs right now. So maybe the nighttime was the right time for the one car.
Well, in the last, say, 5 laps, he's improved 6 positions, soon to be 7.
I think it's a tire advantage since he was one of the last ones to pit, to be honest with you. I mean, everyone else is on 5, 6, 7 lap older tires. He's showing what the fresher tires can do, but the problem is it's the sacrifice of giving up the position to have the fresher tires. Because right now he's got another 4 seconds to get to the 3 car of Caitlin Height. And he's got 7 seconds to get to the lead. So it's kind of one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't situations.
Yeah, looking at the lap time of the leader of John Hagan, that last time by was a 30.85. Dustin Hall was a 30.54, so about 0.3 faster for that number 1 Ford. So he might be able to at least cut into the gap, and then he'll have to decide what he wants to do, if he's going to come down when everybody else does and try and race him straight up, or if he's going to try and stay out a little longer, have the fresher tires at the end of the run.
I think his bed was made already. I think he's going to stick to the fact of coming in later and hoping to have the fresher tires when everyone else starts to fall off. Because if he's able to start chewing into these gaps the way he has been and moving through the field, this is probably going to be the strategy he employs the rest of this race. It looks like we've got more battles brewing here. Josh Gaiman in the 33 and Josh Tucci in the 81 going at it. Mark Kissenweather on looking in fourth. Caitlin Height currently sitting back there watching this as well. Again, this just shows how strong a lot of these teams are, because if you take a look, you've got 4 teams represented inside the top 5. And as we said earlier, only 2 of these teams have ended up winning this entire season, with Ascent and Lady Liberty. So while there might be a lot of parity in teams now, you see the strength of these teams come out at the end of the day, as it looks like Kissenweather gets wicked loose and just about takes the 33 up to the fence.
Yeah, it definitely looked like that 12 was not very happy, and it looks like Caitlin Height almost trying to split cars there. Thought better of it, backed out of it just enough, but that's going to allow the 12 to slide up to the wall.
Yeah, and Kissenweather, as he slams the door, Caitlin says, fine, you want to take the outside, I'll drop underneath you. You know Mark is strong on the outside, but that 12 car doesn't look like it's really happy anywhere right now, to be honest. As there's a little bit of contact there between the two. And Caitlin looks like she's going to try to make it 3 wide coming off the corner.
Yeah, Caitlin is tired of sitting back there behind them, seeing those guys almost touch.
Yeah, Caitlin moves up to P4, and then she's still closing in on Kissenweather and the 12. Don't worry, you guys really aren't missing much up front. The Hagen show continues. 3-second lead.
I know this is basically one of the closest battles on track. Looking back, you go back here and see another group of 3 kind of battling it out. A couple here with Henderson and Swatsworth.
Yeah, Henderson and Swatsworth are battling it out. And then you've got David Schmiel, Dean Clavitt, and Patrick Oberstadt battling, it looks like behind or ahead of them, excuse me. So
with that, let's step aside real quick. We'll go side by side. You won't miss anything. We'll take our 1 commercial break, and we'll be right back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. You didn't miss anything as we were side by side there. A few battles brewing here and there, but looks like we're right on the edge of pit stops happening here, as Hagen is still out to over a 3.5 second lead at the moment.
Yeah, we've been keeping an eye on the pylons here, keeping an eye on Dustin Hall in the one. With 9-lap pressure tires than most everybody, he's driven his way up to 4th, but it's starting to equal out on the drop-off, and he's starting to give up that time again. So, you know, overall it was a net gains through the first round of stops. Question is, will it be a net gain through the second one? And those look like they're going to be coming within the next, I want to say, let's take a look at this. We're coming up on 101. Probably within the next 5-6 laps.
Yeah, I'd imagine they're going to come down pretty quick here. They might just make sure they have enough in case a green-white checker comes out, but I'd imagine if something came out with after 40 laps on the tires, everybody's going to come down anyway. So not going to lose anything at the moment. The interesting part's going to be what Dustin Hall does here. If he comes down when the leaders comes down, or if he runs a couple extra laps to just have that little bit of tire advantage coming to the checker.
Well, the 3 and the 33 have already answered our questions. They're already coming down pit road, and I believe the fire sale is starting already for pretty much a lot of other people. Hagen's already down pit road, so he feels like he could make it from here. And this is what I was saying earlier when everyone came in right around the lap 55 mark. It would give you 90 to go, split the 90 in half, and see what happens from there. And this is basically what everybody is doing at this point. Lead rotates out to Josh Susi, who is about 2.3 seconds ahead of Dustin Hall, while everyone else behind them is looking to start getting their pit stops going. Mark Kissenlev in the 12th is coming down pit road. So the pit stop cycle has started in earnest, and it's likely going to be, unless a caution comes out, the final stop of the race for everybody.
Yeah, I imagine it's going to be the final stop of the race for everybody. I mean, unless you get one, with 6-7 laps to go, I'd imagine everybody would come down anyway to get those 4 fresh tires on them, because they have plenty sitting in the pits.
Yeah, I mean, they've only gone through, this is what, the third set out of 5, I believe, or the third set out of 4. So most everybody's got one more set stacked up and ready to go. So as Susi's on pit road, Hall takes the lead over. Now it's a matter of how far does he run it before he comes in.
You can't run it too far because you have the dominant car behind you.
Yeah, he's got a mirror full of Hagen on fresh stickers. And that's what 1.5 seconds will get you for a difference. So he knows that he's about to get ate up like a doggone pot roast. So, and I just made myself hungry. Pot roast sounds good.
Yeah, I can smell my dinner from upstairs. So
Hagen ends up unlapping himself the easy way. I mean, the way those tires are, I mean, that is pretty easy.
Yeah, he only came out a couple seconds behind Hall there, and Hall is still staying out on track. So we'll see how that is going to work here, how that's going to cycle out.
Yeah, when the cycle started, Dustin was sitting 4th. It'll be very interesting to see once this cycle ends where he is. I mean, he could come in right now and it would be beyond beneficial, because there's no way that one car is going to be able to stick out much longer on those old tires. He's going to give up way too much. I mean, looking at things now, he's running a 31.49 as Hagen is running 30.44s. Yeah, that's giving up too much time here. Way too much. As we got ourselves, never mind me talking about lap times, as we've got a wrap. And it was the 90.
Well, I don't know that it was the 90.
What in the world happened here?
I don't know. We got to go.
Yeah, back that up a bit. Boys in the truck, back that up, because what in the blue hell happened here?
Might just have to Let's rewind it here.
Yeah, okay, so he's coming off a pit road. He just made his pit stops. And getting up on the banking, it just breaks free. And, well, takes out 2 other cars. Well, unfortunately, that's the nature of cold tires here. And Dustin is looking at this like, thank you for the gift.
Yeah, because Hagen came down too.
Yeah, and now everyone who is basically on the lead lap, as Hagen overshot his pit stall, but that's minimal compared to what's going on, because there was only, what, 15, 16 cars on the lead lap?
Yeah, all of these drivers are going to stay out. They're going to take the wave around, get their lap back.
So this is really going to shake the ball team up now. Probably end up getting a restart with what? I want to say either side of 30 to go. Probably 32.
Yeah, wave around, stack back up. Yeah.
About 32. It's about to get chaotic, I feel.
Well, the front row on this restart is going to be the same one we had when we started the race. For what it's worth.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me all that much. So, yeah, I'm going to be... This is going to be one of those where it's going to be a strap-in moment, because it's going to be wild. As I'm looking through the pylon here, taking a look at things, I'll tell you what's crazy is the 8 car, Steven Oberstadt, is still running after getting flipped over in the first wreck of the race. Still running, sitting in, 25th, 3 laps down. Well, now about 4. But still, wow. As we got the field doubled up, we officially, let me take a look here, we have 15 cars sitting on the lead lap. So this played into Dustin's hand in a big way. As the iRacing.com pace car makes the left-hand turn. Good thing is, Barney, you won't need any lidocaine tonight. Oh, we haven't used you that much. Green flag is backed out. Dustin takes off. Hagen's right there with him, and everyone else has been left in the dust.
Yeah, it looked like everybody said, all right, those two are going to battle it out. Let's just ease on through here.
That almost looked like the restart from Talladega Nights with Ricky, Bobby, and Jean Girard at Talladega. Ain't no one in their mirrors.
Well, right now, between first and second, there is nothing. But between second and third, there is a couple lap cars. So side by side, they go for the lead. Dustin Hall on the high side, Hagan on the bottom. Hagan makes that bottom side work, and he is going to try and get away down the backstretch.
Yeah, as the 28 car ends up wrapping the fence, that's going to let Mark Kissenweather, Zachary Meredith, Caitlin Height, and a bunch of others get around them. But up front, Hagan and Hall are battling. Oh, look at the 91 get sideways.
4 wide. Henderson down on the bottom.
Oh, be careful with that. Yeah, gonna make it stick. Henderson's trying to make his way back up through this. Move him up to 7th. As he went around Adams, Cobb, and Oberstadt.
Yeah, he saw all of
Big
them.
old power move.
I'll say everybody battling there, and he just set sail on that bottom line. Caitlin Height stuck in the middle, dealing with a bunch of lap traffic, trying to make her way through. Just can't quite do it.
Yeah, right now the team's got to be screaming at people to move over, and she ain't getting lucky enough to have it happen. As it looks like she's battling, I believe that's the 17 of Zachary Meredith. That is A, sharp-looking paint job, and B, dude is up 28 positions from where he started. That's major.
Yeah, that is definitely a big mover tonight. 91 up 25. There's a bunch of big movers up here tonight at Texas.
Yeah, there is, as it looks like the 12 just got shoved up out of the bottom. I don't know if Kissenweather's going to appreciate that from a lap car.
Oh, yeah, no. He is definitely not. The 28 is not cutting him any slack at all, being a lap down, trying to still unlap himself here.
Yeah, it looks, the 28 is basic. Oh, contact between the two of them.
It's not going to surprise me if somebody gets a little right hook here.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either. Bryce Bauer in the 28 trying to unlap himself the hard way. Gets loose up and pounds the fence. Kissenweather had to lift it just barely. Patience is going to be wearing out soon in that 12 car.
Side by side, touching, they go through the quad oval again.
I know that Bauer is the first car 1 lap down, but buddy, take a chill pill a little bit here. I mean, you still got a few seconds back to Josh Gaiman in the 33. Take it easy.
Yeah, now he's battling for the front here with Hagan Hall trying to battle for the race win. 25 to go this time by.
Yeah, and unfortunately what that 28 is going to do is get in the way of pretty much everybody. Once again, he slides way up the track, bounced it off the fence again. If I was either one of these two, whether it was Dustin or Hagan, I'd just let that doggone 28 go at this point.
Well, that's the problem. Like, if say Hagan decides to let him go, well, that opens the door for the 1 or the 12 to just keep their foot in it and get to the lead. So you still want to be going, your race pace, but you got to try and figure out a way to get away from that 28.
Yeah, well, the 28's gotten around them, thankfully, so maybe, it's going to be less chaotic. But what that's going to do is let the high line open up for Dustin in the 1 to try to make this side-by-side move stick. 28 right now is hoping somebody ends up getting wrecked and he can get back around and catch up to everybody. Because he's no longer the lucky dog. He's back on the lead lap, which puts Gaiman in the 33 as the first 1 lap down. Now it's just a matter of, can he drive away enough and be comfortable enough to get, start clicking laps off again. as it looks like Dustin Hall in the 1 is trying to make that outside line stick. Gets around Hagen in the 97. Looks like that strategy he had slowly paying off.
Yeah, it's getting there closer and closer. 22 to go.
And all that battling has brought Piss and Weather back into it.
Yeah, and
He's
Meredith too.
Yeah, Meredith in that 17 is just on the outside of this battle right now. And don't look, but the Daytona and Willow Springs winner, Caitlin Height, sitting back there in 5th, licking her chops, waiting for all 4 of these boys to screw up somewhere so she can capitalize on it. Two-time race winner in that Wheeling Engineering number 3. She's only about 3/4 of a second or so off the lead of this. So if these 4 start racing each other hard, as we've got some real big battles going on here. It looks like we've got Shad Swatsworth, Patrick Oberstadt, David Schmiel. A lot of these guys are battling now. Eli Sosick, Kyle Taub. This is from just inside the top 10 back to about 16th.
Yeah, they are
15th.
Yeah, they are not settling down at all here in the back either.
They're not.
Jump back up to the front as Hall's been able to get away from Hagen just a little bit, but he has that 28 in front of him, and it might be hurting him just a little bit. If he had that fresh air coming on to the nose of that number 1 machine, he might be able to go a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and unfortunately right now, this is the driver in me. I got to settle it down a little bit. I would be screaming at that 28 to get the hell out of my way, because there's no way I can deal with him in front of me right now. Especially this late in the race, I'd be screaming at him, just move, dude.
Yeah, it opens up several possibilities if you're, trying to make a pass of using them as a pick, or, kind of forcing the other driver to go up and get that dirty air on him.
Yeah, right now the 1 is thankful that he was able to get around him. It looks like Hagen's going to try to make the same move on the bottom. Well, that explains why the 28 was fighting so hard, and he's going to be the first one lap down. And this changes everything.
Let's see what happened to Bailey here.
Yeah, Bailey Thompson in the 27. Looks like battling with Schmiel, and that looked bad.
Schmiel
cut him no slack.
Give him a little ride there.
Yeah, Schmiel cut him no slack, let's just say. I don't know if there's more to the story or what was going on. As we're on board with the 31, throttles up, everything's good. Gives the 27 a little shot coming off the corner. Everything's fine, and just drives into him. That looked like it was pretty bad.
Well, we saw the 31 do almost a little bit of that earlier. With, I believe it was the 12, kind of cost both of them a little bit of time there.
Yeah, I get it's late race as we've got a lot of the lead lap cars coming down pit road to get the last set of stickers. I don't know if I was the 27, I'd be accepting any apologies anytime soon from that 31 car. This is one of those, you'd be better off talking to me Thursday or Friday.
Well, the race off of pit road was not won by either Hall or Hagen.
No, that Air Force 17 of Zachary Meredith ends up winning the race off of pit road. Sub 10 seconds, which tells me they barely took on enough fuel to make too much of a difference with the car. But there should be enough in the tank for in case there are any green-white checkers here tonight.
Yeah, Dustin Hall, Caitlin Height, John Hagan, all looks like they all, they all spent 15 seconds on, so they probably got those 4 fresh tires and full of fuel.
Yeah.
Looks like Meredith, Kissenweather, Henderson, Arnold all maybe got just right sides on those.
Yeah, which definitely will be interesting to see how this turns out for these guys. Looking over, as we see Zachary Meredith in the 17s currently leading 31 positions up. It is so cool to see, people running a U.S. Air Force scheme because the anniversary of my dad passing away is coming up in a couple of days, and he served in the Air Force during, I think, the 40s or so. And it's just, peeling back the curtain a little bit, seeing this paint job, it's hard for me not to tear up right now thinking of my dad here with a couple of days. He passed away a couple of years ago due to stage 4 melanoma, so seeing an Air Force scheme leading, it's pretty cool to see. As the iRacing.com pace car is about to make that hard left-hand turn. Restart coming here with 13 to go, actually. It's going to be the 17 of Zachary Meredith, 12 of Mark Kissenweather on front row, Blake Henderson, Josh Arnold, row 2, Dustin Hall, Caitlin Height, John Hagan, Josh Susie, Patrick Oberstadt, and Jonathan Adams, your top 10. Restart's underway, and Kissenweather just about puts his left front fender right up against that right rear tire of the 17, and Blake Henderson trying to make some moves in that Roman Reigns 25 car.
Yeah, everybody.
We got someone sideways in the back. Who's that teal car back there? I think that was the 90. I think that was the 9 of Eli Sosik that got sideways. Was able to save it.
Yeah, it looks like that, yeah.
Back up front, Blake Henderson's trying to make a move for second place up on Mark Kissenweather, but it's not going to fly. Kissenweather once again right up against the back bumper of the 17. Oh, they both run way high.
Way
Kissenweather
high.
up against the fence.
Almost like off of the wall. Henderson going to go down low. Going to try and pass them both here as they're both trying to recover from touching that outside wall. They know who is coming behind them. John Hagan already up to P5 after that restart there.
Yeah, Hagan just has thrown that thing into overdrive and is taking off on everybody as the 17 just blocked Blake in the 25. But he cannot hang the bottom. That's the problem. He's letting everybody get off the bottom. Contact between Kissenweather and Blake Henderson. 3 wide going into turn 3. I don't know how this is going to work, boys.
Just enough there. 3 wide. Hagan down on the bottom. Meredith up on the high lane. Henderson, Kissenweather trying not to touch again as they are battling hot and heavy here coming through turn number 1.
Yeah, Kissenweather's going to eke out the edge a little bit, but Blake Henderson's got to that bottom line rolling one more time. Here comes Hagan pushing Kissenweather, trying to poke a headlight out, getting some fresh air. He pushes Kissenweather up to the lead, and now as Hagan's going to try to make that high line work for second, they're bringing the rest of the pack in this battle. And what was originally before this caution only a 2-3 car battle has turned into about 15.
Yeah, Hagan's made pretty quick work of that pack. He started back there with Dustin Hall outside the top 10. Dustin Hall's only made a couple positions, but Hagan is up to third, and he is looking for more here.
Yeah, Blake Henderson just put a block job on Hagan going into turn 3. As Henderson's going to try to end up making this bottom line work again. The one big thing I've noticed with Kissenweather, he's having a hard time coming out of turn 2, where Blake is able to get that run and just diamond the corner right there. He's going to try to get the one where he's on the bottom of the track, but he doesn't get it to work this time as Hagan's going to beat him to the punch. Coming down the back straightaway, Jonathan Hagan's going to end up getting this run going as we have a car smacking the fence coming off of turn 2 towards the back of this pack.
Yeah, Tyler Ratcliffe jumped to the pit, so
yeah,
we'll stay green.
Currently green as we got the battle for second. Hagan and Henderson going at it again. Hagan's going to make this bottom line stick, and he's going to end up clearing Blake in the middle of 1 and 2. Blake's going to try to get the crossover once again, coming off of 2. Does not make it work as Hagan's going to throw a huge block, just about get turned for doing it. And this is bringing up so many other people. Josh Darnold, Zachary Meredith, Patrick Oberstadt, and Caitlin Height are all licking their chops at this right now. This battle is going to end up raging until someone ends up in tears.
Yeah, block for block, Henderson on Hagan, Hagan on Henderson, and that's allowing Kissenweather to get away just a little bit as those two are battling side by side for a couple laps here, but now they have single filed out. We'll see if Hagan has anything left here in the tank to catch Kissenweather. They got 6 laps to do it, 5 when we get to the line.
Yeah, the discount is down, the 5 fingers are out, and Hagan's only needs to pick up about 0.3 of a second to get back up to Kissenweather. But as we all know here at Texas, catching somebody is one thing, passing them is another. Hagan's had a strong car all night long. He's been throwing it down like nobody else could. But can he get to the front one more time when it counts the most?
And these 3 single filed out, but behind them we got Arnold, Height, Meredith all battling for a top 5 position here.
Yeah, it looks like Caitlin Height's going to try to make this move stick on Arnold to try to put that 3 car sitting in P4. They're going to be side by side. So, she goes up and rubs doors with him. Looked like the 3 car just lost all grip, had a little 4-wheel drift moment. That's going to let Zachary in the 17 catch right back up to them. Hagan, I just noticed, is starting to diamond the corner a little bit in 3 and 4, trying to get a little bit more of a run, and it's slowly reeling in Kissenweather. Right there, he just enters up about a half a groove up, and he's starting to get that run, and Kissenweather's going to have to start throwing some big blocks.
Yeah, watch this closing speed he has here.
Yeah, we're getting ready to have the popsicle sticks go up. We're about to have 2 laps to go this time by. And Hagan is looking every which way possible, and Kissenweather is denying him at every possible opportunity. Hagan's going to be backing off a little bit and try to get that draft to go down through 3 and 4 as the popsicle sticks are going to be down this time by. The white flag's going to be up. I don't know if Hagan's going to have anything for him. He sends it in deep going into 3. Hagan went down to the bottom. Kissenweather went to the top and cuts the bottom down. The white flag's going to be up this time by. And there is nothing between these 2. Oh, Hagan's making this high line look good. He's going to try to cut underneath him one more time. Hagan lost the nose. That may be all Kissenweather needs to make this move stick. Halfway down the back straightaway, he's going to have one more shot at it. I think he's too far back. Blake Henderson's going to close up on Hagan. But coming out of 3 and 4, the Texas two-step is fine and dandy. Kissenweather gets it done in Texas.
Hagan second, Henderson, Height, Arnold. The top 5, Arnold plus 26 spots.
Wow. Arnold, as everyone's congratulating Kissenweather here, Arnold went up plus 26 to 5th. As Kissenweather just got turned, everyone's just stacking up here. I don't know what that was about. Okay.
Looked like he got a little congratulatory bump. It went sideways.
Not just him, but about 4 other cars went sideways with him. Jonathan Adams, as Zach gives him a shot in the back end there, Jonathan Adams in the 91 finished 8th, up 25. Zachary Meredith up 23 to finish 9th. As Kissenweather, well, you know, he's making sure that the car doesn't fail post-race inspection.
That might be an issue.
Well, you know, how many times people have had to crack the car up post-race to make sure they pass post-race inspection? As he's giving the engine a whale of a workout in his celebration.
Yeah, Kligerman didn't get that memo.
Yeah, no, Klingerman didn't get the memo.
All right, let's see if we can
Too
get
soon?
some drivers up here in the booth.
Was that too soon?
I don't know. NASCAR just doesn't want him to win.
No, they really don't. Meanwhile, speaking of that,
let's see if we can get Blake Henderson up here in the booth for you.
possibly. Well, we had him.
There you go.
Hey, Roman Reigns, it's Shane and Mike up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got bad news for you, boss. That's a LA Night car.
Oh, dude, it looked from the angle we were looking at, it looked like Roman, but if that was LA Knight, all we got to say about that third place is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us how you got up there at the end, bud.
I just took two tires at the end there, just hoping I could get some track because I noticed the left sides weren't wearing nearly as much as the right, and I was hoping I'd be the only one smart enough to make that decision, but there was a couple that were also smart enough to make that. It was just super hard to pass. I did everything I could to try and maintain the lead because whoever got the lead once everything single filed out was probably going to win it, but I'm still super happy to bring home a podium. I haven't had a podium in like a year.
Well, leave it to the brass superstar to give you that luck here tonight. This race played out with that long green flag run. What was the strategy you had through that?
Yeah, I was just trying to split it in thirds as much as I could. Try and do it in 45 lap increments. It helped with the cautions at the beginning, so I could get to 55, then pit at 100. I actually really was not happy to see that caution at the end there because it tracked me a lap down. I wasn't sure we were going to get another caution, but that final caution really saved my skin.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it. Hey, a P3 finish here after a hard-fought race where it seemed like the start of it, we were going to see caution after caution. We were talking earlier, you were saying that it seemed like the rear end of the car did not seem to get stable through this race until the tires wore off. Was that still the case late?
Oh, it very much was. That first couple laps, especially first lap on new tires, was insanely sketchy, and you're just trying your best to not spin out. It's not really about going fast. I hope the rear end stays with me because if you push it the least amount, it'll come around on you really quick. So yeah, especially those last couple restarts, that first lap was very sketchy on cold tires.
Well, before we get out of here with you, who do you got to thank that helps you get it done on that LA Night hot rod here tonight?
Yeah, I gotta give thanks to Coley Hockman Productions. Lord, I'm forgetting our sponsors. Blankenship Freight Lines. I try to paint all the cars. My beautiful girlfriend Sydney for watching all the races. My dad watches all the races. So yeah, all around great effort for Tombstone. Was happy with the effort we put in the last weekend. So hoping to see it pay off more in the next few races.
Well, enjoy that P3 finish, and we'll see you next week. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Shane.
All right, let's see if we can get John up here in the booth. Hey, John, Mike up in the booth, man. How's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, not too bad. Well, you had the dominant car tonight. That late race caution kind of seemed like it might have did you in just a little bit there, changed the strategy. But how was it feeling towards the end of the race there?
End of the race, everything was just wicked sideways. That was the most sideways it had been all night, and didn't really adapt to it that well. I guess I don't know. I really considered two, but I had known the left rear had been wearing a bunch, and that's what causes you to be loose on corner exit. And so I was like, I'd rather have that left rear stability than two tires there. I mean, you gamble, you win, you lose. You know.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it was a gamble. You were able to make it work. You made pretty quick work getting around the drivers that did elect to take 2 tires, coming out of here with a P2 finish. Heck of a start to the season. Anybody you want to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
Shout out Ascent Racing. Check them out on Twitter, x.com/Ascent Racing _. Shout out Jacob Shangle for painting up this beautiful Team Conti sim performance scheme. I try to put it in victory lane for the Team Conti setup. Shop provides wonderful sets week in, week out. Shout out my teammates, Eli, Tucker, John. Shout out y'all in the broadcast booth. Oh, shout out my beautiful girlfriend for letting me race. And shout out y'all in the broadcast booth at SRM.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again on your P2 finish, and we look forward to seeing what you can do next week at a short track.
Thank you.
All right. See if we can get our race winner here.
Yo, Mike, it's Mark, it's Shane and Mike with the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Man, you want to talk about a dogfight at the end of this race? You guys gave us some excitement. How did you hold everybody off?
Oh man, I don't know. I thought I was gonna lose with like 2 to go. I was like, oh, I lost. John's gonna get me with 4 tires. There's no way. But somehow I was getting better exits off of turn 1, and I pulled through and got the win.
Yeah, you were definitely hanging on for dear life. We saw you driving the wheels off of that thing. That long green flag run had to be the game changer for a lot of people, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. The tire wear on the right front for me was pretty bad. So after that long green flag run from like through the whole second stage up until the last green flag pit stop, I was just killing my right front the whole time. So maybe other people said they were loose. So I don't know. For me, I thought the set was pretty tight.
Yeah, we saw a lot of people kicking the tail end sideways, especially off of 2. I mean, that's where we saw a lot of the early cautions. How in the world did you get through some of those crashes tonight?
Being at the front helped, but at the end there it was pretty dicey, chopping it up with Zach and Blake. We had a hairy moment on the backstretch going 3 wide. I don't know. I just kind of just stepped on it and hoped for the best.
Well, hoping for the best got you to win. Next week, Richmond. Any early thoughts going into it?
Oh, it's one of my favorite tracks, but I don't know. I don't want to get too confident.
Well, it seems like you got yourself your ticket punched into the championship rounds here. Before we let you get out of here, who should get it done on that 12 car you got to thank tonight?
I would like to thank Coulter's Cards, Go Times Cards, NJB Designs, Militia Racing Club, and that's really it.
Well, celebrate this win. We'll see you next week at Richmond.
Thank you.
All right, so that will do it for the post-race interviews. Go ahead and go down the race results. You heard from Kissenweather, Hagen, and Henderson, Caden Height, and Josh Arnold with the top 5. Patrick Oberstadt, Chad Swatsworth up there inside the top 7. Jonathan Adams, Zachary Meredith, John Sousay, David Schmiel Jr., Kyle Taub, Eli Sussick, Zachary Apperson, and Josh Gaiman make up the top 15.
Yeah, 16th going to Bryce Boyer, 17th going to Jeremy Briault, Ross Baxter, Dustin Hall. You got to feel for the guy. I mean, he had a strong run, was carving his way up through the field. Unfortunately, drops to 19th at the end of it, with Callie Height rounding out your top 20. Eli Flores, Alfred Denny, Alfredo Hidalgo III, Stephen Oberstadt, Tyler Ratliff, Richard Odie III, Tucker Saylor, Nate Blankenship, Bailey Thompson, with a hard wreck earlier on. David Wright, Dean Clavitt, Dale Markowski, Carmen Sienna, Seth Wansing, Austin Mongol, Dilly Sharp, Hunter Peach, and Ryan Mountre, rounding out your 38-car field here tonight.
Put this track in the rear view and go short track racing next week. Can't wait to see what these drivers can do at Richmond. See if tempers remain calm, cool, and collected.
Well, it is known as the action track. You never know.
Definitely. But with that, Shane, if you want to get us out of here tonight.
Oh, we got a flight to catch to Richmond. So for everybody here at SRM, whether you've been watching on YouTube, the computer, your big screen TVs, wherever you've been watching us and however you've been watching us, we thank you for joining us on this fun Monday night with the HTL Cup Series powered by Team Conti Performance. And just remember, today, tomorrow, and every day as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. And until we meet again next week at Richmond, take care.